Hello. Hello. Y'all can hear me. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the very first episode of High Notes Live. I'm your host, Tajay Murray. Today we're going to be talking about today's current events. So, yes, as y'all are aware, there's a government shutdown that is going on. As y'all are also aware, we have a big win, it seems to be for Democrats yesterday on election day. Jay Jones was even able to squeak across. I don't know if that tells us much about the Democratic voter, as it tells us about what the voter may feel about Donald Trump today in today's standards. We know that Donald Trump was able to enter the White House um, on a multitude of reasons. The craziest being his promise to lower inflation and get costs under control, and he has yet to be able to do it such. Now, myself, I wouldn't necessarily just lay all of this at Donald Trump's feet because I am 100% aware that presidents do not have full control over our markets as Donald Trump wants his followers to think. This is why when we try to bring blatant contradiction to them, they're not able to understand. Donald Trump is a God king in their eyes. So you cannot come to them with anything analytical. However, one thing I can say about the Democratic Party is it's 100% different. You are able to criticize your party leaders. You are able to criticize um and almost not even vote for if it comes to that the Democratic candidate. And nobody is going to fault you for that. The establishment will, because that's what the establishment does. See, these new age Democrats my age, and I'm not saying that I'm a Democrat, but Democrats my age, they're seeing our opportunity for the party to evolve as the Republican parties had did. This may this may be a regrettable choice of the Republican Party. I mean, not the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, excuse me. However, one thing I can say is it is well overdue. We know that the parties evolve over time, either way it goes. There's always two, but they evolve. They're the same two from the beginning. They just evolve. One switched here, they switched this ideology, they did that, they did this. Cool. We're in another, not party switch, but party elevation or evolution, I should say. I wouldn't say it's elevating, considering Republicans and MAGA. But the Democrats have to be careful where they step in these next couple months. Over the next year, they have to be careful where they step. Why? It is strictly and solely because we are at a precipice moment. You know, we can have the Democratic Party, as you saw today, last night rather, Zoran Mandani to the far left of the Democratic base has won the mayoralship in the largest city in the union, and Abigail Spanberger and even Jay Jones, crazy as he may seem, have won, and they're moderate Democrats. These are in 2006 they'll be considered right leaning independents. You feel me? They'll be considered borderline Republican. These are Democrats I could see have been voted for a Judge W. Bush. These people are winning in places like New Jersey and Virginia. So the Democratic Party is at a precipice where it can split into two parties. It can become one, where it's this big, huge tent party and it's a lot of fractions, and y'all have trouble finding identity inside of the party. Or it can split into two and we wash our hands away nationally with the Republicans and the MAGA. I honestly feel that it is a new switch happening in the parties, but it's not the switch that you think. I think that the Democrats are in a position to become the new quote unquote conservative party, and its progressive wing is more liberal wing, because liberalism and progressivism are two different things. Those wings of the party I feel are going to fracture off. And they if they can build a coalition from what is obviously the same pain, or you know how people be like Donald Trump won because he appealed to some Bernie Sanders voters and this and that and the third. Well, those voters are gonna be able to join this new party. You feel me? And that's why I feel like is the Republican Party is over. I'm necessarily putting that down. And if today wasn't proof of that, if last night wasn't proof of that, I don't know what to tell the Republicans. Donald Trump is already not happy about it. But you can obviously see that this ain't what he was expecting to happen. He was most definitely not expecting this to happen. The Republican Party is over in a sense that last night, the Republicans, even after passing the quote unquote big beautiful bill, they're not able to garner up their base or any type of support to win another election statewide in some of these battleground states. Even in a state like Mississippi, and this was not talked about. In Mississippi, my apologies, I had to step back for a second. But to everybody's shock, even in Mississippi, you can see um Miss Teresa has won Mississippi's Senate District 2 seat, a Democrat. This is a blatant buyer's remorse, like Van Jones has said, even though I don't really agree with Van Jones a lot. This is obviously, excuse me, buyer's remorse from the independents and the non-party voters in America. If you do not see Donald Trump on the ballot, will MAGA vote Republican? Will they vote at all? That is the question. That is the question that Republicans have to ask themselves, not MAGA, not the MAGA crowd and this and that. Republicans. Because MAGA is not a party, it is a movement. It's nasty behaviors they have it. It is a movement. But Republicans are the party. And to hold on to your party, are you going to be able to draw the same crowds that Donald Trump was able to draw out? Because before Donald Trump, you guys were sitting here biting your teeth, scared because you didn't know if Republicans will be able to win a seat nationwide again. We remember this. We do. We honestly do. So, as you guys can see at the bottom of the screen, I have a ticker that is going across. We are still waiting. The first thing you see is Virginia. They voted for Abigail Spanberger, but we are still waiting for the paychecks. And I'm gonna pause right here for a second because I just got done. I just got done talking to a another guy on the live about a couple hours back, and we had a conversation about the shutdown and SNAP benefits and healthcare and all of that of that nature. He is under the impression that minorities, particularly black people, are upset that SNAP is being cut or defunded or not being funded in the moment or whatever. And he's saying that, you know, people should stop relying on the system and this and that and the third. And then he goes on to say, um, he goes on to say that government employees, in a sense, should not have put all their eggs in one basket as far as working for the government. And since the shutdown, they should just go find another job or do something different. Now, of course, people who are furloughed from the government are not working at all. You know what I'm saying? So they're not getting paid and they're not working. So they have that free time to be able to go make extra money. But I'm gonna pause right there because even saying that, I want people to realize if I am a government employee and I've been one, an auditor, let's say, for the last 30 years, and because of the shutdown, I've been furloughed and I have not been able to work for the last month. I'm just supposed to quit my job of 30 years, which I'm on the cusp of retirement, and find something new and do something different. Is disingenuous, is what it is. And it's ironically moronic to think about it that way because it's simplistic. Yeah, if your job doesn't pay you, you're gonna go find another job. Duh. It's simplistic in its terms, in its nature. But just as I was explaining to him, let's say YouTube, let's say all content platforms decided that we're gonna have a 3 month moratorium on payment, meaning that for all of you people who have decided to stop being artisans and working with your hands and this and that and the third and like to sit on lives and whatnot and talk out the side of your neck, y'all stop getting paid for 3 months off of these platforms. How would you feel? But if you don't post, you lose your fan base. So you still got to put in the work. You still got to put in the work, but you're not getting paid for it. How would you feel? It's that simple. The argument is disingenuous in nature because it's asking people to subside what we have built our society on, which is making your money and being able to pay for your goods and your services and everything in that nature and being American. And now it's, well, we still want you to work, but we're gonna want you gotta work for free. And I asked him, I said, so do you expect nobody to work in the government no more? Like at all? Like we shouldn't have no government workers. And if so, do you not expect them to work for proper benefits? Okay, so if you expect that, why not expect that every corporation as well? And then we get into the other arguments and they can't hold on. As you can see at the bottom of the ticker, our number two topic is the shutdown blues, ballot box boohoo booyahs, mixing the longest federal shutdown with election wins. The shutdown is a obvious um slap in the face for Donald Trump and his policies because, like I said, him thinking that adding another tax, and that's all essentially that a tariff is, it's a tax on Americans buying products from other nations, was going to drive up um excuse me, I'm getting off topic. My apologies. I just got waved at. No. It is a blatant regard. It is a blatant regard of Donald Trump's policy because he isn't able to he wasn't able to articulate the message. Temporarily silenced. He wasn't able to articulate the message to the American people for his colleagues and constituents for them to vote in favor of anybody with an R next to their name. Why? Because inflation is still up. The consumer price index is still up. The only thing that is down is gas prices. The only thing that is down is gas prices. But the government is still shut down. Millions of Americans have smaller access to Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP benefits. Millions of Americans have lost Medicaid, Medicare, or the SNAP benefits. Millions of Americans' premiums are destined to rise as of December 31st, 2024, and will continue to rise 2025, and it will continue to rise as of January 1st, 2026. The government is shut down, ladies and gentlemen, with Republicans in charge of the Senate the House, the White House, and the Supreme Court. I lay this blame only on one and one party only. And I do not blame, I do not blame any other. You guys cannot govern. Republicans cannot govern. Move on to our third topic. When your mayor is younger than your Wi Fi password. I know that's right. For Mandani, uh, for New York City mayor, wins, for the New York City mayor, a win by Zora Mandani has happened. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. This was seen coming. A lot of political punditry are out there commenting how Zoram has um campaigned like Donald Trump. And honestly, yes, but no. No. Are we so forgetful that we do not remember Donald Trump mocking disabled people? We don't remember Donald Trump saying that he could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose support. And guess what, guys? He's pretty right. Excuse me. Zoran campaigned on affordability, on making your home homesome, as making a city welcoming and keeping within its traditions. That's how Zoran won because he's a New Yorker through and through, as much as you may or may not like him. He is a New Yorker. He is an American. He is an American. I am not surprised. I am not a New York City resident. I will not tell you guys where I stay. Um, but I'm proud of New York because they voted for somebody that they truly believed in. And a lot of people say, well, he can't get this done. He can't get that done. He can. He honestly can. If I'm a mayor, what's the difference between what he was doing and what Cuomo was promising? Both of them want to build houses. Can we not get houses built? They're not going to work with Zoran. Why? Because he's around. They should work with him because he's still the mayor of New York City. It doesn't matter. And that's the problem. You don't like the brown guy, so you're not going to work with the brown guy. That's not how this works. It's not. It's not. I bring this all to your attention because I want guys to realize it's not as all as simple as it seems, but it can be. It really, really can be. The choices are not that hard. They're just blinded for you. Zoran was able to campaign without billion-dollar donators. You feel me? Without the establishment behind him, he was still able to win their party's nomination. And they did not want him to have it. I do not see the sense of a democratic process that we were just as Democrats blamed about for not allowing Kamala Harris to go through a actual primary process, but just a coronation. That you guys thought that Andrew Cuomo was going to be coronated into the New York City mayor office. That does not make sense. Nobody wants Cuomo. Retire as a young American. I'm tired of these old white men. Period. You're not able to get it done. You couldn't get it done as the governor for 10 straight years. What makes you think you can do the sit? Like, no. It's less power. You got less authority now. And you think you can do more? Get out of here. The American people are smarter than that. New Yorkers are smarter than that. And I'm proud of them for choosing the candidate that they wanted. He won over 50%. He has a mandate. He does. And if ranked choice voting was in New York, you don't think that Zoran would have wiped the floor with Cuomo? Because all those Sliwa voters, their second choice was Zoran Mondani. I'm just saying. Somebody said on The View, um, I can't remember if it was Sunny Hodgson or if it was Joy Behar who said, oh, I think it was Anna. No, Anna said something else. But one of them has said that when Trump endorsed Andrew Cuomo, that was his kiss of death. And Anna said in response that Andrew Cuomo's kiss was the kiss of death. And that right there summarizes exactly the issue with the Democratic Party. You think that we're going to sit here and we've been getting on Republicans' arses about this, and you don't think that we're going to get on our own political leadership for the same thing? For the same thing, we're not hypocrites over here. We don't want it. Do not want it. Do not. I am proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a Mississippian. I'm proud to be, period. But our country can, and our country must do better. I appreciate you guys for this 30-minute live. I sure to do more of these very soon. I am. So yes. So all right, guys. That's it for today's session. I want you guys to keep your mind high and your notes higher. I'm Tajay Murray, and this was High Notes. I want you guys to stay lifted and stay learning. And I want y'all to stay woke. Stay woke. Make sure you guys tune in. I will be doing these every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're going to be consistent and we're going to be busy.